Welcome back to Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerantz. I'm glad you're with us still. Our guest is Gary DeLong, member of the Long Beach City Council, also a candidate for the United States Congress. That election will be held in June 2012. So I want to start talking about Long Beach. Like many cities in Southern California and California, serious fiscal crises facing municipal budgets. What are you seeing here in Long Beach?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me back to join you.
Sure.
And unfortunately, what we see here in Long Beach, as well as many other cities, is things are even bleaker than we thought. We thought we were going to be turning the corner. We'd have balanced budgets by 2015. Revenues would start growing again, and we've learned that's not the case. It's going to prolong a couple more years.
Why? I mean, the job picture looks better.
It does.
Sales taxes are coming in at a slightly better rate. I don't understand.
Yes, in fact, our top two revenue generators, sales tax, as you mentioned, and property taxes, they're eking upwards, so they're meeting projections. But believe it or not, a lot of our other revenue sources are declining. I'll give you an example. Telephones. We have a utility users tax.
Right.
The government gets tax revenue off usage. People are abandoning their landline phones. They're going to cell phones.
They are.
And all of a sudden, that revenue source the cities used to have doesn't exist anymore. We had a few things like that happen to us.
So what are you going to do? I mean, we know there's been declines in revenues from, like you said, telephones, gas pipelines. How are you going to make up that gap?
Well, you know, it's interesting. You said, what are we going to do? And there's two questions. What are we going to do and what we should do? What should we do?
Fair enough.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of keep on the approach we're on. If our budgets go down 3%, we're going to figure out how to cut 3% across the board, try and weigh public safety a little more to make sure that we can provide that service. But really what we need to do, I think, is we need to reinvent how government delivers their services. We've got to stop this death by 1,000 cuts.
But you talk about public safety, and we know that Long Beach, unlike other areas, did have an uptick in crime. So the thought of cutting public safety could be a little frightening for some.
Well, actually, we've had an uptick in property crime, which we think is very much...
You'd expect in tough economies.
Exactly right. But we're at a 40-plus year record low in violent crime.
That is true.
So we're actually doing a very good job managing crime in Long Beach. We have an outstanding police chief, great officers, good command staff. We're doing well, but how many more cuts can they take? For example, in 2013, we're looking at another $9 million cut to the police department based on a $190 million
That's a 5%
budget.
cut.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's very substantial.
Let's talk...
When you're already lean.
Right.
It's very substantial.
I want to focus on jobs as well and look at a federal question. If you were in Congress today, how would you have voted on the Keystone Pipeline issue? And just to tell our viewers, that would be a pipeline that would send oil from Canada down through the middle of the country to the Gulf Coast.
You know, I would absolutely have supported that with the caveat they need to do it in an environmentally sensitive way. We need the jobs. We need to put people back to work. We need the revenue. It would generate significant tax revenue, and also we need to, reduce our dependence on foreign oil so we don't have this continuing up spike in gasoline cost. We absolutely need to do that project and others like it.
So here's the challenge for you, if I may say, is that I think many in the Republican Party, and you are a member of that party, would have voted for or had voted for the Keystone Pipeline regardless of the environmental issues. They just want the jobs, and they just are moving forward with it.
First of all, it's about balance. And while I'm a member of the Republican Party, I'll also tell you that if I'm successful, I'm going to be an independent voice. I'm going to do what I think is best, regardless of whether or not that aligns with the party. So in this case, I'm going to support that project, but no, not at any cost. Well, it's about balance, but I am going to figure out a way to get it done.
But it's interesting, you sound right now like President Obama. I mean, this is exactly what he said. I want the Keystone Pipeline with environmental protections.
Well, I don't know what the president's position is. All I can tell you is I am willing to work with anybody, Republican, Democrat, whatever it is, to get that done. We need the jobs, we need the revenue.
Will your party let you work with anyone?
Again, I'm going to be an independent voice. I'll make my own decisions. The party doesn't make it for me.
Okay, his name is Gary DeLong. He is a member of the Long Beach City Council. He is also a candidate for the United States Congress. That election will be held in June 2012. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thank you so much for joining us on Charter Local Edition. We're going to send you back to HLN.
I'm Henry Waxman. I'm a congressman in Los Angeles. What do I find interesting to watch on TV? Charter California Edition.
Learn more about your elected officials, educators, and community leaders by watching Charter California editions on Channel 101, Charter's original programming channel, and Channel 177, the California channel. Tune into both channels to watch the half-hour Charter California editions for more in-depth interviews.